This match was released in full on our Patreon. Our Patreon is the only way to watch all-purpose events in full. Thank you to these patrons who help support Purpose Wrestling and bring great pro wrestling to you. If you'd like to join them and support Purpose, visit purposewrestling.com/VOD. Link in the description. Purpose Wrestling, made with love.
One arm, half shoulder, still getting shit done, right? I didn't abandon both of my friends.
If Warren Baxter's here, then I'm sure the story will be a little bit different.
Just because, I got the sniffles, I got a bit of a runny nose.
Just want to say get lost with Warren Baxter as well. Get well before him. Warren Banks. Warren Banks. Warren Banks.
Yo, they said what? They were talking about me and us. Are they dumb? Nah, we can't let that slide, bro.
You mentioned Warren's name, and that's a big mistake. Because we're not lollipops, yeah?
You hear what I'm saying? We're experimenting terratons. There's no chemistry here. There's no science. There'll be no experiment. No one's terrified, my guys. Nobody. None of us. Not one of us. Bringing up Warren Banks' name. You lot are bad. Hilarious. You better watch yourselves. But don't say silly things. Don't ever bring up our names in your mouths. Otherwise, guess what, man? Will come.
Mess up.
The following contest is a 6-man tag team match!
Now David, I think Experiment in Terror made a huge mistake calling out my boys from South London, the 8-7.
I don't know if it was a mistake or a calculated risk, Bobby. All these people here at Purpose are trying to jock for position, trying to make sure that they're on top of their own division, especially the tag team division. And these factions, these groups, want to make sure they claim their spot on the top from the get-go. Experiment in Terror knew damn well what they were doing when they decided to, well, let me say it again, poke the bear and come after the 87. Maybe they'll regret it after this match today.
You said it, David. The tag team division is quite hot here. The NIC have been on top since we began, undefeated, and every other team is looking to prove themselves, looking to find their place here at the top of Purpose.
And these three wrestlers are some of the most decorated and experienced wrestlers in the country right now. Elijah has been making waves for the past few years, especially ever since wrestling came back after the pandemic. LK Mezinger is one of the most unpredictable wrestlers in the country right now. And look at all the gold that Skye Smitson has. It's the Eve Tag Team Championship, the World War Wrestling Women's Championship. She is a top talent in the country, and she carries those belts around to make sure that everyone knows that. This faction is dangerous, Bobby.
Speaking of dangerous, David, the 8-7 are here. Do you think the 8-7 are going to come in fired up, angry, eager to smash Experiment in Terror in the face, or will they keep their cool? Do they know what they need to do to win this match?
And their opponent, simply of Alexander Roth, big waving Roy Windsor, and Warren Banks, the 8-7!
It looks to me like they're very calm and collected, Bobby. I think they're trying their best to make sure that they show that they're not affected by the words of Experiment in Terror, which is a good thing, right? These are 6 people with huge egos, and they want to make sure that they know, they tell the other ones that they're not affected simply slightly by them. And that's going to be the strategy. I think it's the right strategy for this. This is an incredible faction, incredible unit. These 3 travel everywhere. They're best friends. They represent something incredible in British wrestling. And they complement each other very well as well. Alexander Roth, obviously the loudmouth, the big voice, the explosive in the team. There's a powerhouse in Roy Johnson who can throw anyone around, and he's looking better than ever, to be fair. And there's the wild card, Warren Banks. The kaiju can defeat anyone at any time. This is an incredible faction, Bobby, and they're apparently some of your favorites. Probably because of how vocal Roy Johnson is with the support for Crystal Palace. Confess.
I am indeed feeling glad all over. And this is a home game for the 8-7. We are in South London. They are on home territory. The crowd are behind them.
How many football references were there just now? Was that 3?
Home game, glad all over. Two.
Glad all over is a football reference?
It's the Crystal Palace song.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I like wrestling. You know, I like real sports.
It'll be interesting to see which of these 6 people, who chooses to start this match. I think we can gain a lot in terms of the tactics of each team and who they put in there first.
It's looking like 87 is going to be Roy Johnson first, and Skye Smitson won the draw to be the one that starts.
Well, I said tactics, but they played rock, paper, scissors, so as tactical as rock, paper, scissors can be.
Listen, they'll all be fine. As she said, she's well hench.
Speaking of hench, probably the henchiest person on the Purpose roster. Big wavy Roy Johnson.
Roy Johnson is in the middle of prep for a bodybuilding competition, and he looks like it. He is lean, he is mean, he's a power machine, and he is completely intimidating Skye Smitson to the point that she tags out, and Elijah was not expecting that.
Now this is an interesting matchup. The cunning Elijah. He's vicious, he's intelligent, and then you've got the powerhouse, the explosive Roy Johnson. Now, Elijah's never going to win a power battle here.
Yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do. He is strong, he's powerful, he is lean and looks great, but he's not going to fare well against the gold medalist in powerlifting, Roy Johnson, one of the most powerful men in British wrestling. Have I said powerful enough?
One more time.
Powerful.
Now, this is interesting. Big Wavy is waiting for Elijah to come in. He's letting him make the first move. There's a confidence about that I quite like. Although, maybe he shouldn't have, because he was always going to result in nefarious tactics. Roy Johnson goes low, cartwheel over by Elijah. Step up Enziguri rocks Big Wavy. Irish whip. Big Wavy was right through them. Both on attempt and shoulder tackles Elijah to the mat.
I think when you know you can do that to people, you can just run through their clotheslines and tackle them to the floor like that. You don't really care if the other people get the advantage first, if your opponent gets your first strike, because the last strike is yours. Just like that backbreaker, that was incredible.
He let Elijah think about that backbreaker just for a second longer than Elijah wanted.
I think he could hold Elijah there for 10 minutes if he wanted to.
Now here he comes, the Kaiju. Warren Banks is in the ring. And he's probably going to be the most ticked off of all of the 8-7 after the comments they made about him.
The Nigerian Kaiju wants Elijah in the ring. Of course, Elijah was the one that said his name. And Elijah doesn't want to be in the ring, apparently. Gets out.
Now, this is the first time we've seen LK in a Purpose ring. He was at ringside for the Experimental Terror's last match. He had an injured shoulder or an arm.
He did. It was supposed to be a tag team match with LK, Mezinger, and Elijah, and that's when Skye Smitson stepped up, and she was a perfect fit for Experimenting Terror.
Great jumping knee by Warren Banks. LK Mezinger thought about it just a second too long. Over, up and over. Look at these two. The agility of these two big men.
LK Mezinger is deceptively agile. Warren Banks doesn't like the gym, and this is the kind of training it does. Body weight and agility and great jumping to make sure that those leg lariats hit strong like that, Bobby.
And this crowd is fired up. Alexander Roth firing everyone up. Up and over goes Mezinger, rolls through, and he gets a shotgun dropkick for his trouble. That was on the mark.
Good to see that Warren Banks has learned something from the match that I had with him and just took it with him.
Borrowed a move from you.
Yeah, not the greatest claymore from on the Purpose roster, but it's good enough. Good enough to make LK Mezinger run away. Experimental Terror are not having a good start of match, Bobby.
Now this is something I'd like to see. Both of these two, Roth and Smitson, are tough as nails.
Smitson fears nobody. Did you see that slap?
Roth felt that slap, but he is having none of it. That was a right hand to the jaw in the corner. PK to the back. Sent on. Alexander Roth is full of fire here.
He does not shut up, be it in front of the microphone, be it inside the ring. He always has something to say, and I love that so much.
Trading headlocks here. And a blind tag. Elijah tags himself in. I don't think Roth's noticed yet.
He just noticed now.
To the head. Is that another tag? LK Mezinger is in. All three members of Experimentarian in a second into the cover. Roth fights straight out. He will not stay on the mat.
Experiment Terra, I believe this is the first time the three of them tag as a trio, and they clearly have been working on their plays. They've been working on their tandem offense, making sure that everyone's on the same page, knowing how to follow through. That was an incredible way to turn things around in favor of Experimenting Terra. Great work there.
Into the cover off a nice drop kick. And we did see Elijah and Skye Smitson work very well together at the last show. But as you said, this is the first time I think LK has teamed with Smitson. And they seem to be lining up very well.
Smitson fit like a glove in this team with LK and Elijah, who's been teaming for years. And look at that, she drawn Warren Banks in the ring, the referee is distracting Warren Banks, and Experimenting Terra are taking that opportunity to make sure that they put in some shots on Alexander Roth, who has nowhere to run.
This trio, working like they have been together for years. What great teamwork. Roth has now been segmented in that half of the ring. He is stuck. They've drawn the invisible battle line and they are not letting him cross it.
Quick tags in and out as well to make sure that they stay with wind, right? They don't get winded, they don't get tired, making sure that they keep their energy up, and it's almost like Roth is wrestling three people at the same time.
How do you prepare for that tactic? How do you prepare for three different sized people, three different styles of wrestling?
Oh, what a neck breaker. Did you see that, Bobby?
That was a quick whipping neck breaker. Roth kicks out while holding his neck.
That looks like he really rocked the back of his head. Well, the way you prepare is by knowing that you can be in a situation like the one Roth is in right now, and you try to endure as much as you can so that you can have an opening. Like that, Bobby!
Now he needs to get one of these two bigger tag team partners in. I think they're gonna, if they get a powerhouse in, we might see a slightly different affair going on.
If there's someone who can take a beating and come out on the other side, is Alexander Roth. He will be able to get to that team, to their teammates, to his teammates, if Experimenting Terra allow that to happen, and they did!
Tag. Big wavy Roy Johnson, the powerhouse of the 8-7, is in the ring and he is dishing out the punishment.
Strike after strike, headbutts and punches. He is making Elijah pay for ever saying the name of his faction partner.
Elijah whips big wave into the corner, but he regrets it. He snaps back out with a clothesline. Sends Elijah across the ring, off the ropes, and a big flapjack. Elijah's face ricocheting off the mat. Smitson.
Roy Johnson felt Smitson coming, and he knew to be there to make sure she would get a big flapback as well. And now the big guy is running trains across the ring.
He is ahead of steam, and he is smashed. He felt Elijah coming behind him then. Sidestep into Smitson, snapmare, and that huge right hand to the back of the neck.
Really precise work there by Roy Johnson. Elijah's still in a fight though. Gets rocked once again.
The downward spiral onto the mat. And Smitson had to break that one up. I don't think Elijah had enough to kick out of that.
Experimenting Terra showing that they are there for each other. They're a great unit.
Big wavy sends Smitson to the outside. Tags in Warren Banks. Who then tags in Roth. Now here we go. This is some trios work from the 8-7. These guys. Flapjack into a face plant, an X Factor if you will. Oh, the bit of confusion over who the legal man is. It's Roth.
That was enough for Experimenting Terra to come in and break it up. The key to winning this match is gonna be the ability to neutralize at least one, if not both, of the illegal opponents, so that they can finally get an opening to hit a big move on whoever their legal opponent is and get the win. Unfortunately, that wasn't that for the 8-7.
Great move by Mezinger, dragging Dereiss to his corner so he can get the tag, but he ran straight into the wall known as Warren Banks.
But maybe that's not going to be enough. There it is. LK Mezinger is fresh. He has energy, and he got Warren Banks with that whiplash on the ropes.
Minus, I don't even know what to call that. A springing power slam into the cover. Oh, wavy breaks it up.
He was right there and able to break the cover. The 8-7 and Experiment in Terror going to war here in the Purpose Ring, and I'm loving it, Bobby.
I could watch these 6 people fight all day. Step up, Enziguri. Smitson is in, waistlock around Warren Banks.
She couldn't do it? Oh, okay, I thought she was about to German Warren Banks.
I wouldn't put it past her, I think she could do it. Warren looking for a scoop slam.
Oh, did you see that? Oh my God!
Forearm to the gut. Smitson trying to power Warren Banks up. And she does it onto her shoulders. Look at air raid crash, maybe?
Assisted air raid crash by Elijah. Look at this.
Smitson,
That's it. They did it. They did it. They did it. Oh! That was exactly what we were talking about earlier, Bobby. Smitson had the wherewithal to make sure that Roth and Roy were not involved in the decision there. That really looked like it could be it. That's how one of the big moves that they hit last time they tagged. So they're trying to make sure they seal the deal.
Look at some trios offense here. Double suplex into it. Roy Johnson steps in, pulls Warren Banks down, sends Mezinger into Smitson. Cuts Elijah involved.
Big Superman punch by Roth. Here comes the big guy.
And the pounce! That big tackle. Now Roth heading up to the top. Roy Johnson gets LK Mezinger in for a power slam position.
What are they going for here?
Bobby! Foot stop into the power slam. Banks is the legal man, but all 3 men pile up top. And the 8-7 have done it. They have beaten Experiment in Terror. The Purpose dressing room is full of tough people, but I think the 8-7 may be the toughest.
The 8-7 coming in and showing that they are a top faction, a top group here at Purpose. And I am very curious to see what the future holds to the 8-7 here. And Experiment in Terror did a great job as well. The future is bright here at Purpose. Great wrestling action here.
If I wasn't excited before about our tag team division, I am now.
Turns out we should have maybe been a little bit terrorized, right? Or terrified. Because they did have chemistry, right? And my neck hurts. So I don't know what kind of science tricks they did with the Experiment in Terror on my neck, but it bloody hurts. I'm gonna stretch, but great match, great team. Maybe we'll see them down the road. Hopefully we do.
Yeah, what do they call themselves? EIT?
Yeah, the Experiment in
I
Terror.
like this 3 letters thing because there's another 3 letters.
Right.
Purpose. 3 letters. Think about it.
Not BBC, right?
No,
Oh.
not that one. Not us. No, not us. 3 letters.
What's that?
Undefeated in purpose.
Oh my
Yeah, you got it now? You got it now?
Yeah.
It's a 3 words, but I love it, bro. You know, NIC.
Yeah.
Them guys.
The NIC. So what we said about them, what we... Oh, you want to do a challenge type situation with NIC?
One of them down the road. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know.
NIC. You're next.
That's it basically, NXT, what am I talking about? NIC.
NIC.
When you're ready, come check us, we won't have a fight. It really is that simple, it's cut dry, come check us, we'll do the damn thing. But for now,
I'm just going to check your head, you.
next stuff.
Again.
NIC, yeah?
Those 8-7 boys, they're pretty tough.
Oh, tough.
Oh, Roy Johnson's huge.
Oh, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. Roth hits hard now.
Oh, I think we might come in a little bit overconfident there.
It's fine, because this is just the beginning for Experiment in Terror. Let's go, please.
At our next show, Lightspeed, 10th of June, Merton Art Space. Jordan Breaks, the first person through to a semi-final, will take on David Francisco.
I am undefeated in Purpose Wrestling. Jordan Breaks is undefeated in Purpose Wrestling. And when it comes to matches between David Francisco and Jordan Breaks, David Francisco is undefeated against Jordan Brake, so just saying.
On the other half of the bracket, Nino Bryant will be facing Connor Mills.
The story with Nino, Bryant, and Destination Everywhere just started. He did pass the biggest test ever in his life, but now he's facing Connor Mills, and you just have to know that Destination Everywhere are coming for his neck.
Jordan Saeed, on behalf of himself and RJ Singh, the East City Sovereigns, challenged JJ Lynch and Rex Armstrong to one final match. This match will have the losers disband.
How insane and personal have things come between these two teams that this is where it's gotten to. It's been 6 months in the making, and it's gonna culminate at Lightspeed, the O.J.M.O versus Solomon Lamb in a last man standing match.
These two men hate each other. These two men have been stalking each other. These two men have been vile to each other. And it can only end one way, when one man cannot get up. This is coming June 10th, Purpose Wrestling Lightspeed at the Merton Art Space in Wimbledon. Thank you for watching Purpose Wrestling on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe.